So, the ocean's rising. I'll explain to you how it can't possibly happen. Now, as an Australian, I live in Sydney, Australia. As an Australian, we should know that the oceans are rising more than any country in the world, because our national anthem actually states our lands are girt by sea, which means we are surrounded by water. So therefore, wouldn't we notice that the oceans were rising? Well, scientists tell us that the oceans are rising at a ridiculous rate, but I thought, you know what, I want to go and check something out myself. So I went down to a few beaches and took some photos, took some videos, and I'm going to show you the fact that the ocean baths close to Sydney, from Wollongong up to Palm Beach, are still at sea level. Yep, they're not underwater, they're still at sea level. Some of them were built over 100 years ago, but according to science, the oceans are rising, but the oceans aren't actually rising. And I'm going to go into detail and explain to you why the oceans cannot rise. But here's a few little videos for you just to show you, and a couple of photos to show you that these ocean baths are still at sea level. Now, I'm going to show you a little demonstration that I learnt when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, when I was a little kid. And this is not a scientific explanation. This is a 5-year-old child's explanation, or sorry, a 5-year-old's observation from something that is so simple to explain that the oceans cannot rise. Give me a second, I'll just grab these scientific implements. So here we have two of the same implement to explain that the oceans cannot rise. And here they are. Sunny Boys. Sunny Boy ice blocks. Now you're probably wondering why I'm using Sunny Boys to explain how the oceans can't rise. Isn't it obvious? They're delicious. And anyone my age has pretty much had one of these in their life. Now, when you get them from the shops, they're like this, they're soft and squishy. And you can move them around and they're pliable. When you freeze them, they're solid as a rock. They actually expand because water expands when it's frozen. You don't believe me? Okay, here's a little experiment I did. I got a couple of bowls, little glass bowls, note the top is level, filled them with water and did a time lapse and froze these in a commercial freezer. Water expands when it is frozen, okay? Just like a Sunny Boy. Water expands when frozen. But like a Sunny Boy, when they defrost, they come back to the same liquid mass that they were previously. Just like this little demonstration when you defrost that frozen water. Therefore, water expands when frozen, water comes back to its initial liquid mass when it defrosts. So even if all of the ice melted on this planet, it would go back to its original mass. Therefore, the oceans cannot rise. But we'll go into it a little bit deeper in just a minute. You know what's really bizarre? Understanding the oceans, understanding ice, understanding glaciers, understanding all sorts of bits and pieces about how the scientists tell us that the oceans will rise comes back to a simple observation. I understand how a sunny boy works. Really simple when you think about it.